Modern education is expired. This idea of knowledge being only available in certain places at certain times from certain people, of course, is expired. When Google came out on September 4th, 1998, that was a game changer. And now with the AI stuff happening, you can learn almost anything whenever you want to, right, at your own pace. So then the question becomes, what is the point of school and education, right? What is the point? Well, there's a place for classroom dialogue, and I'm giving schools the benefit of the doubt now. Let's say you are in a school where people are actually learning and applying themselves to excellence. That's great to have scholars around you, right? People like Einstein were surrounded by other people that helped him with some of the mathematics, for example, with some of his theories. And so it is important to have a place to learn with other people, and teachers are critical. That part is important to the max, people that can guide you along the way. But if teachers only focus on knowledge delivery, then they are operating within an expired paradigm, because knowledge can be gained anywhere. Now, the question is, why am I learning the thing that I'm learning? What is the point? And so what is the point of the material? How does it tie to my life? Can you give me a vision for my life? And that's the type of education I want to talk about briefly today. There's a few books I'm going to be referencing as I discuss, but I've put together a document, a PDF, and you can email me at amosthemathguy@gmail.com if you want to see it, amosthemathguy@gmail.com. And in the document, I present to you one of the most comprehensive and the best, I call it excellence in education vision. I put together a lot of tools over the past that I've worked on, and you're going to be able to see what it takes to potentially give your child the best education possible. I have resources like curriculum ideas from IEW, curriculum ideas from other companies, just trying to show you how to help your child find what works for them, right? Custom-based education. So 1998, right? Critical, September 4th, 1998. Is on the book cover, my book cover says expired, 95 theses on why we need to reevaluate modern education. Why do I say 95 theses? Because of Martin Luther in 1517, when he was nailing at that door in Wittenberg in Germany, his thesis on his concerns about the state of the church. I have some concerns about the state of education, some very serious concerns. But before we can even dissect this topic of modern education, I think we need to start from the top. So let me grab my notes here. So we need to start from the top. And basically what we need to do is realize, what is the point of education? What is the point of the thing we're trying to do? And I think before we can get to the point, we need to answer the question, what is a human being, right? A human being, if they're created in the image of God, then there's certain expectations we can have of them. And so that's part of what I start with in my book, Modern Education, 95 Theses on Why We Need to Evaluate Modern Education. I talk about what is a human being, what is a person. And before we can educate someone, it'll be good to know who they are and what they are. We don't teach we don't teach algebra to dogs, right? We don't teach certain things to certain creatures because they are not capable of comprehending those things, right? So it is not enough to say that we're providing Christian education. We need to go to the next level and actually make sure that the type of education we're providing is in such a way that it's glorifying God, that it's honoring God. And what do I mean by this? We need to be looking to help people flourish in who they were made to be. We need to be looking to help people flourish in who they were made to be. And so if a child is frustrated and struggling, we're trying to teach them a certain thing a certain way, we need to step back and see how can we help this child learn to learn well and to master the thing they're learning, right? So number one is focusing on what is a person. Number two, what is the worldview that we're using to educate? Everyone has a worldview, right? So what is the worldview we're using? I would say that in America, there's a lot of naturalistic materialism. There's a lot of materialism that has taken over in American education. Materialism, the idea that there is only that which you can see, and not talking enough about what is unseen, which is critical, I believe, in really educating someone. You need to care about them beyond just what you see. C.S. Lewis has written a great book called The Abolition of Man. We're going to talk about it on my channel, but I just want to mention it here. The Abolition of Man is a wonderful essay on education. In terms of how to help people learn to learn well, I think it's critical that we teach them how to practice. And that's what deliberate practice is about, which is in another book called Peak by Anders Ericsson. Peak by Anders Ericsson. And that one can be found anywhere online and so on. But let me give you some practical applications about how to rethink modern education. So number one, we need to know what a person is. Number two, we need to know what the worldview is. There's a lot of these strategies. And so we're going to take a while to go through all of them. Number three is that we need to start with the end in mind. People call it systems thinking in engineering. That's one way to think of things in engineering. What is the end that we're trying to get to? When a child is 16, 17, 18, however old they are when they're ready to go into the workforce, what do we want to have accomplished at that point? Here's a few goals I think that are worthwhile. The first one is, parents, as you look at your children and you see their different propensities and tendencies, I should say, their tendencies, if that child loves airplanes and they want to design airplanes and they're building them every day and they do their schoolwork and then they go build airplanes, then maybe give them tools like The Wright Brothers by David McCullough as part of their reading, right? Customize it to that child. You will find that children have different desires and tendencies. So why don't you give them something to help them nurture that passion they have? Whatever your child wants to do, though, I want to give a quick commercial break. The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. I think you should make sure you understand the gist of what he's saying here, because no matter what your child wants to do, they're living in a day and age of extreme distractions. So make sure that they have a good plan to deal with distractions. And so when you know the end in mind, you tailor some of their education towards that goal. But the key is that there are certain things they will learn. It doesn't matter what they want to do with their lives. They'll be okay because they learn those skills. So, for example, even if somebody wants to become a nurse at the end of the day, it is not a bad idea for them to have a very solid math foundation. Not at all. It doesn't matter. So if I take calculus, I'm not going to be at a disadvantage when I go into my nursing program, right? If I want to be a nurse. So you're not going to meet someone who says, you know what I regret is that I took calculus and I took everything else required to be a nurse, but I took calculus and somehow that puts me at a disadvantage. Of course not, right? So why don't you help everybody get to calculus, right? So there's a few ways to do that. I've put together a guide for students, a series of workbooks. There's actually about 15 workbooks, but the ones that will get them to calculus, there's only 3 of them. The first one is the pre-algebra one. So this is for everybody in elementary school, all the way to the end of pre-algebra. You can use this in addition to your Singapore math or Abeka or Math UC or whatever curriculum you use for math. You can use this as a supplement or you can use it as the main dish. So that's the first course that students can take from me. The online materials are free. The assessment is free. You just need the workbook and you can choose if you want to sign up for tutoring from us. The second book is Algebra 1 and 2 combined. You could do that again online with us, or you can you can use it in addition to your textbook. I would say that some of the textbooks we reference in this book are very good at showing patterns in algebra. And then the last is geometry and trigonometry, which you can do with us as well. There's online materials, or you can use it as a supplement to your class. When you use these 3 books, then you're going to be diving right into calculus. The beauty is we also provide connections to a dual enrollment program with a college, a local university in Texas. And so you can also get college credit for algebra, for college algebra, for pre-calculus, for trigonometry, for calculus, calculus 2, statistics, discrete math, while you're still in high school, by the way, right? I have students in middle school right now that are going to be training to take their algebra college course. They're going to be doing that in 7th and 8th grade. So you're welcome to join along the way. If you've mastered the concepts necessary, then let's keep moving along, right? So I think it doesn't matter what you want to study, you can learn math all the way to calculus for fun, even while you're still in 9th or 10th grade. And then if you want to be an engineer or mathematician or chemist or physicist, then by God's grace, we've created the most comprehensive math guide for anybody in the world. Our math guide gives you up to 33 math credits, college credits, before you graduate high school. You can get up to 33 math credits, math and computer science, physics and chemistry. We provide all of that in conjunction with the dual enrollment and with the CLEP preparation. We guide you all the way. So when you go into college, you're not starting from Calc 1 or Calc 2. You're not starting from you're starting as a potentially later sophomore year or a junior straight up, because we can help you get up to 60 college credits in the education program, the dual enrollment program we have. So Now, you can still do 4 years in college. That's a good idea. Don't get me wrong. If you want to take 4 years, but you can do it with focusing and breathing and not trying to cram in a lot of things. Why not make the most of your high school and college at the same time? And that's what we help you with here. You can fill out the form on amosthemathguy.com, amosthemathguy.com, and I'll be in touch with you to provide you with more information. We've covered 3 lessons today. We have 92 to go, 95 theses for education transformation. Modern education is expired. Join me as I help to transform education in the 21st century. Have a blessed day. Take care and God bless.